Their dog, and it's just like a quick potty break that they don't want to have to put all the equipment on.
Right. Okay.
You know, with a guy like Scottie,
know,
you can get away with just the prong collar. Okay. If you had like lunging and barking reactivity stuff, I would tell people put your e-collar on because that's your best means of control.
Okay.
Anything else? Alright, so I'm gonna have you first just show me what you remember from last week with the leash walking stuff, the stay stuff. And then from there we'll go on to the next exercises.
Heel.
Good, go ahead and come to a stop when you're ready. Good. Try stay.
Stay.
Try to walk all the way around.
Go ahead, try walking. Good, back to the side. Heel again. Don't worry about the food fight yet.
Oh my God! Here's my trap! Yes, sir.
Got it.
Good, stay.
Got it. Stay.
Good. Heel, we'll do one more.
Heel.
You've been here since you got here? Oh.
I thought she came.
My old employee got fired. Good. Stop when you're ready. Good. Stay.
Stay.
Good, back to her side. I'm going to have you real quick just do a heel and then do the pivots and then the crossover turn. Remember those? The two different types?
Heel.
What was his number when you said it?
40 or 39.
Okay.
Everyone did. Everyone. A doctor died. Yeah.
What?
What?
Oh, what are you saying?
Like sneeze.
Stay.
Good.
Heel.
Try a pivot. Good job. Good job. Go ahead and come to a stop in front of Callie here. She liking it just being by herself again?
No.
No? She likes
She's so
Scottie?
lonely.
Good. So, good job. You did your turns correctly. The only thing was when you're coming back this way, she started to forge a little bit. Did you see that? When you're coming in front of the bench, she started to get ahead of you. She's trying to get to Callie there, right? So she wasn't pulling per se, but she was losing. So you want to think of it more so, real quick, just turn around and then come to the middle here. Good, come to that stop. Good. So, and then stand right next to Scottie. There you go, right? So, I want you to think of heel more so as a positioning than it is Scottie not pulling. Because a lot of people tend to think of it as, oh, my dog doesn't pull that much. Or it's better than how they used to pull before because they're like used to this, right? So it's not about how much or how little he's pulling. It's about where he is in conjunction to you or in relation to you. So his right shoulder should be parallel to your left leg, right? So if you look down, right shoulder, right next to your left leg, that's what heel is supposed to look like, okay? So he starts to get ahead a little bit like this. So right when you notice that, because he's still keeping with you, he's just not doing so to the extent where he's pulling ahead. He is right there. I would let the left hand go and then do that correction turn and the tapping to get him to line up next to you, okay? And you'll see this as you work with him when you go on an actual walk. Right now we're in training mode, and he already kind of knows like, oh, like right now I'm going to be super in tune because I know you got your couch and all that stuff. But as we start to wean that away, and it's, hey, we're just going on a regular walk now, you may start to see that happen, that you're going to want to correct him to teach him like, no, you're supposed to stay on the left leg, okay? Otherwise, all that stuff was good. You did your stage correctly, you did your left turn and your right pivot and your crossover turn were all correct, okay? So, questions about any of that stuff? So what we're gonna do here is, she left, is go over the place command, which Callie is doing right now. Do you, are you familiar with that command? Have an idea of what it is?
I think so.
What's place command to you?
They have a certain area that they need to go to and stay there.
Okay. And then what are the rules with that command?
They can only walk around in that small area that they're given.
Correct, right? So like here, hers is about the same size as Callie's there, right? Or his. So he's gonna have a bit more space to move around, right? So we don't care if he sits, we don't care if he lays down, I don't care if he stands, I just care that he stays within the space. So if you had a really big like rug, maybe that was like 4 times the size of this, you could technically use that as a place. It's just he has enough space to walk around as well, okay? So we're gonna go over the place command. So like let's say Scottie has his bed, right? Like you have the one that you sent to us. So let's say you decide to use that. If Scottie were to lay down on his own, on the bed, it's that place, right? It's kind of like growing up. If I went into my room, no big deal, I go into my room, I walk out my room. But if I got grounded and my mom was like, go to your room and don't come out until I give you permission, it was very different. Right now it's like, okay, I go in the room, I have to wait till I'm released, essentially, right? Same kind of concept here. So if you ever see Scottie doing something obedience-wise where you've not told him to do so, or anybody else hasn't told him to do so, he's not under command, okay? So, because some people will get this confused and they'll think like, oh, if the dog went on the bed, do I have to reinforce it? I'm like, no, unless you said so, he's still completely free. So what you're gonna do here is go ahead and say heel. I'm gonna have you walk down a little bit, you're gonna come back this way, and you're gonna stop about here. If Scottie tries to forge, you're going to stop him and wait a moment, and then say place to send him there. Okay? Are you ready?
Heel.
Call 311. Leave him alone. Stay away from that young man. tell him there's a lady harassing people at the Oz Park. Okay?
Yeah.
Place?
Place.
I'm at Oz Park right now, and there's a lady with a green tank top. She's got brown hair, tan skin, and
What you're gonna do here.
shorts.
Now he's on place, right?
She's got a white
He's gonna
bag.
walk
She's going
around.
around harassing people.
And his job is to stay put no matter what you're doing. Okay, so if you're walking around, his intention is going to be to follow you. If you see that happen, you're just going to lightly pull up and tap to
Hello,
get
I'm
back
at
onto
Oz
the
Park right
space,
now.
and then you're
There's
walking
a lady
around.
walking around. She's got a white bag and a green shirt and some shorts. Going around
No,
harassing people.
this is so here. Place isn't like go there and look at me. It's go there and
She's
relax.
right behind
Right, so like right now he's
children's
scratching. Like, this is
playground.
all fine. I'm not worried about that because he's staying within the area. Okay,
Yeah,
so
she's
don't worry
more
about
towards the,
dead on.
Like there's
Okay,
the garden
ready?
area and there's the children's playground. She's more behind that, more deeper into the park, occupied by the field. She's white, very tan lady. She's got a white bag on her back, a white backpack, and then a green shirt. She's just going around like messing around with people. All right.
Good.
Oz
Step
Park,
in.
correct.
You're gonna praise him.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good. And you're going to step away, and his job is to still stay there. Okay? Good. So, when you come in to give that affection, he can get distracted, or he thinks, oh, I'm not on command anymore. Okay? So, I do these things purposely to see what's his understanding of the concept of the command itself, to build to more realistic expectations, which would be, hey, we send you here, and maybe you're playing with your brothers, you're moving, you're getting up, you're leaving the room and stuff like that, but his job with them is to stay there and then be relaxed. Okay? So like right now, maybe from your dad going over to fix Callie and stuff, he's, wanting to be a part of that, right? So here, he has to show self-restraint or impulse control. So part of Scottie's problem with the attached to the barking and the kennel and stuff is either being demanding or wanting to be where everybody else is at. Right? So one thing that I always encourage people to do is teaching your dog to be independent of you, so that he doesn't always have to be with you. Because that's where the issues start. Is when you're separated. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Why aren't we together? Right? So this is one means of kind of forcing separation without really being separated, right? So like if you're sitting on your bed or if you're sitting on the couch and you're watching TV or something, and he's away from you but in the same room, like that's hard for lap dogs because they're so used to being right next to the owner, and you definitely want to take advantage of things like this so that he doesn't think that he always has to be next to you, okay? So and you can always come by, a little affection, good job, buddy, and then you walk away, but then he's going to think, well, I want more, and he's going to want to follow you, right? But the importance of the command itself overrides that. And he shouldn't do that. So if he did, you'd simply correct him until he would position himself back on there. Okay? Questions about that so far? So I'm gonna have you repeat that 4 more times. You're gonna do heel. Come to present him to the bed. Stop for a moment. Wait. Place. Move around. Pet him a little bit. Walk away. Move around. And repeat. Okay? Heel.
Place.
Good. Start to move around. Right? Good. Come back to him. Go ahead and give him a couple pieces of kibble. Good. And then here, So don't release him. Go ahead and walk around a little bit. Good. Yeah. Thought about it there. Good. Back to the side. Good. And heel.
Heel.
Good.
Place.
Good. Good. I'm going to give a quick couple of treats here. Get a little praise after he's done. Good. Go ahead and step away. Wait a moment. Good. Now here, instead of saying heel, go to say break.
Break.
And move backwards.
Break.
Yep. And a little bit of a pull. Pull, back. There you go, it's good. So break here is just like he's done, right? He doesn't have to do anything specific. So just showing you that there's other options for releasing him, not always just the heel, like even just break to tell him, hey, you're done, you can go do whatever you want to do. Now we're going to put him into a heel.
Heel.
Good, we'll try that 2 more times. Over there. Tell her she's gone back.
Place.
Yep. Good. Go ahead and praise. And break.
Break.
And one more.
Heel.
Good girl. Good. Good.
Place.
Yep. Good. Excellent. Yep. Good. Come back and feed. And this time when you praise them, put some energy, like, yeah. Good, and then step away. Right, tap, tap, and walk towards the bed, tap, tap. Good, and then step back. There you go. And then walk up, tap, tap, tap. Good, and then back again. Excellent. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Are you pressing the bumpy one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then step away again. Tap, 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 tap. Better. Yep. There you go. Good. That's fine. One more time. Step away. Good. And then move around. Excellent. Do a quick swap. And they came quick. I remember on the south side.
I did that guy over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the two that left?
No, that guy in the orange shorts.
Oh, I see. Oh.
He's been watching her the whole time
Sure.
because she went up to them too.
I remember on the because I'm from the south side. They'd call and like half an hour later they'd show up.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna have you do here is first start off with just showing me what you remember with the heels, turns, and stay stuff, and then we'll move to this. Okay?
Heel. Heel.
Yep. Tap forward. There you go. And relax. Good.
Did she touch you?
No, man. She caught me off guard. But I was like, hell, man. I was like, I'm from the south side, man. My first instinct is to fight.
Backhand.
So. I'm surprised she left when I told her, leave him alone.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to start yelling or something.
Stay.
Good.
Heel.
Good turn. Good turn.
Stay.
Oh, you got it. Good. Good.
Heel.
You gonna get this guy neutered?
We're thinking about it, yeah. We haven't decided.
It'll make your life easier.
Really?
Yeah. The mating instinct. When females are in heat, like the instinct is crazy. Testosterone-based behaviors like marking and stuff can become a problem as well.
Stay.
I actually have I'm not saying this of Scottie, Like I don't foresee that. But we have a client right now he's a bull terrier, and he's unneutered. He's like 5 years old, and he progressively in the past like 6 months, all of a sudden became aggressive, and became like it was like 6 months ago, then a month after that, and then a month after that, then 2 weeks after that, so then it was 2 days like back to back. Like it just got real bad. And the way the owner described it to me, I was like, this sounds like territorial behavior. But then he sent me some videos, and it was the dog trying to dominate the other dog and mount her and stuff. And she didn't like that, so she corrected him, and then it escalated to something bigger. And then it became more prevalent. And I was like, well, because I told him, like, you should neuter your dog. Because he was pumping everything, just dominating everything. And I was like, there's no outlet, you know. So I'm not saying that does happen, because bull terrier is a different breed, or that it will happen. But it's easier to prevent that stuff. Now, if it was like aggression, like legitimate aggression, like it doesn't matter because it's not based off the testosterone, but like marking and mounting stuff, and like when females are in heat, like you'll definitely have issues trying to control them around that stuff because they just go. He hasn't tried to mount her, has he? With Callie? Good, one more? She's still here.
They're right behind her.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Manny boy ain't believe me. Manny boy ain't believe me.
Stay at the office.
We got you on video.
I know. There's another like crazy lady with no shoes and a white bag. Just going to come to a stop. Good stop. Stay.
Stay.
Good. Back to the side. And you're going to say heel. You're going to come around and you're going to stop about 45 feet off the bed and then do the place.
Heel.
Dip forward. Keep
Heel.
forward. There you go. And relax. Good.
How are you?
Good. How are you, sir? Go ahead. Good. And
People are on the. Oh, here we go. Right there. That's up.
then you're going to say place.
Place.
And tap and pull the leash slightly towards the bed. Tap, tap, tap. There you go, just like that. Good. And go ahead and walk around. Good. Go ahead and give him just a kibble. Good. He's going to stay there. You're going to step back. Good. You're going to walk around. Good. And then back to the next to the placemat. And you'll just say heel. So when you say heel and you start moving, if you see he doesn't immediately go with you, just keep moving and give a tap, and it should bring him to your leg. Okay? Heel. Good.
Place.
There he goes. Atta boy. Good. Gonna walk around. Good. I'm gonna come back in and reward. Good. And heel.
Heel. Once we have Scottie back at home, should a good portion of his time be spent in the kennel?
No, I would like do stuff like this
Uh-huh.
for extended periods. Leave him with the leash on.
Okay.
Expect him to be wearing that equipment a lot in the beginning.
Okay.
Typically, like if you sent us Cali, we'd show you this stuff and I'd say use it when you need it. But for him, because I know his personality type, you have to transition him kind of like, hey, this is just like Jesse's, right? And then you slowly start to remove things, and you might find like, oh yeah, you know what? We gave Scottie more freedom, where he was allowed to be free and just walk around and stuff, aside from like having him like stay put for a period of time. And all of a sudden he starts to act out, right? So it's easiest to be super strict and then slowly remove stuff.
Place.
And then good job. And look for shifts in behavior, right? And if we start removing things and he's staying stable, then it's like cool. Then you use it when you need it. When you're walking him, you take him to the park, all that stuff. You go to a friend's house, great. If we find, oh yeah, we started to get more freedom, we started barking in the kennel again, bark collar or not, he's also much more vocal, because he's like, right now he's quiet. Like, he's not, you're not seeing what we saw. So if he starts to protest things or being much more vocal, that's why, okay? Every case is different, but it's easiest to just keep everything the same and little by little just relax on things and see how he does. Two more?
Heel.
I know he's a puppy, which is people's inclinations. Like, he's a puppy. I'm like, I see things. I have a lady called me on like Wednesday, and she wanted to adopt this puppy, but it growls at her son, who's like 3 or 5 years old. And I was like, how old's the puppy? She's like 9 weeks. I'm like, I wouldn't take that puppy. I was like, that's already right off the bat.
Right.
She's like, yeah, because I have two. One's great, and the other one growls at him. But he like, that dog loves me. I'm like, yeah. I was like, save yourself the heartache and your son from a potential bite, and don't take that dog. Take the other one.
Place. Place.
Good. Good, go to reward. And after you reward him, I'm gonna have you give him a lot of good job, a lot of energy. Good. Step back. Stays put. Very good. Quick walk around. Good. And do a quick heel and just bring him right back to the center right there.
Heel.
Good. Right there. Go ahead and give him a quick couple pieces right there. Very good. Does he get car sick,
Yeah.
Okay.
very first day that we got him, the car ride home, he was just drooling big time. And then one time I took him for a bath, and on the car ride back, he threw up in the car.
Sure. So the few times that we've had to transport him around, like right now he wasn't bad, but they just brought him back from a pack walk, so he was just in the back seat passed out.
Okay.
But last time I came, on the way here was fine, but on the way back he did salivate quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's possibly he just has motion sickness. I always tell people ask your vet if they got like Dramamine for dogs.
Okay.
I haven't really come to a conclusion on that because anytime that's come up, it's always been like the last class, like, oh, what do we do about car sickness? And typically what they'll prescribe is some kind of sedative so that just knock the dog out.
Okay.
Which is fine. Like in some cases, yes, we can get the dog better, but if it's constant, it's really just, in my opinion, motion sickness.
Okay.
So like I had a Chiweenie that would puke every time he was in the car, and he had a lot of training and nothing helped. I was like, all right, he just gets motion sickness. So as long as he's not being overly vocal or like barking and yapping and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of is what it is. But I noticed that and I wasn't too sure if that was something that you were experiencing.
Yeah. One time, the very first day that we had him, it was a long car ride back, and he was just salivating nonstop. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And then a couple other times in the car he's done it, but not to that extent. And then one time we had him where it wasn't really a long car ride, but we had given him treats in between, and I think maybe that upset his stomach.
Sure.
We weren't sure what it was, but he had thrown up by the end of the car. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, we keep an eye on it. And I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, crap, we're feeding him during the training right now. Hopefully he doesn't puke on the way back. But yeah, I would not feed him if you're going to do any long trips and stuff prior.
Yeah.
If you do any long road trips, I'd probably check with your vet and then see what they can help you with. They most likely just give you like some kind of an anti-anxiety med to sedate him so he passes out for the ride, and then it is what it is. Okay? Cool. So any questions so far?
No.
So we'll go over the down command. So place is a bit more lenient, right? Go here, sit down, lay down, stand up, I don't care. Play with this toy, chew on this bone, just don't come off of here, right? The down command is a bit more strict. It's lay down. I personally don't care how he lays down.
Right.
So if you, I was about to say, if you look at Callie, she was kind of like sprawled out on her side there. For me, that's okay. I don't need a very pretty down like this because for a lot of dogs, it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the dog like lays on the side, on its back with its legs up, I don't care. I just care that he stays there and doesn't move for a period of time. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna have you take your right hand and you're gonna grab your leash where your left hand is. Okay. Go ahead and grab a little bit higher. I'm sorry, the other way. There you go. And move your remote to your right hand. Okay. And you're gonna very lightly touch on his shoulders and press down a little bit and tap. 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 Good. And go ahead and give him a couple pieces of kibble. There you go. Good. Go ahead and go on to heel. 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 And repeat that 2 more times. Good pivot. Forward tap. Tap. There you go. Good. Relax. Careful with the bikes. Good. Go and switch the leash over. Good. Tap. Tap. Put him into a sit. Tap. Up. Tap. Good. Yep. And light pressure down. Very light pressure. Tap. 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 Good. And food. We're not going to care about this right now. And heel. Good. Want to try one more? Good. Beautiful. And the pause right there. Okay. So what? And move your left foot back just a little bit. There you go. Good. So you see how awkward he looks right now? So he'd either end up getting up or laying down in a more comfortable fashion. Right now, I'm not going to care about this right now. So the way we teach down is using physical force enough to guide the dog into position. So on the second one, I don't know if you noticed, it looked like you're putting quite a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Did you feel this resistance where you push back?
Yeah.
So what happens is if you put too much downwards pressure, the dogs will buck back against it. So what we've done is we've conditioned him that when he feels the remote with the hand pressing downwards, to lay down. Okay? So it's like pulling up on the leash to make him sit. It's like if he doesn't go to the bed and you pull him, it directs him towards the bed. In this case, we're directing him to lay down. So that's the nonverbal cue for the down command. The reason why I showed you that was so you have an understanding of how it's taught. Most people think you teach down with treats, and then once the dog knows it, you say down, and if they don't do it, you just remote them. Most dogs will jump around or run away because they don't connect those two things. You have to show them using physical force to direct them. This is the direction you want to go for this to disappear. Okay? So if you do too much, if you ever find that he's resisting you, look at how much you're applying. Okay? You really will only need to do the hand if he is panicking or doesn't know what to do. So like so we're gonna start using the word down. So like let's say I say down and I start tapping and I see Scottie start to jump around. That tells me he feels the remote, but it tells me he doesn't know what's going on. Okay? So I keep tapping and I shorten my leash like I had you do to reduce his range of motion, makes your life easier and his life easier. And I keep tapping and I lightly touch his shoulder, so even though he's jumping around panicking, he goes, oh, I know what that means, and he lays down and everything disappears. And he goes, oh, okay, I was panicking, but all I really need to do was this. Okay? So, because we don't want to ever repeat the word again.
Yeah.
We do want to help him if it's not clear, if he didn't hear you, if he's confused, and you can tell because he'll shuffle around a lot. You probably get vocalization because he doesn't know what to do. So then I shorten that leash and I help him through it instead of trying to reset. Okay, resetting would be he's not going to get it. Let me go heel and bring him back and try it again down. Right. The reason why we don't want to reset is because in life, if something happens, you're not going to have the ability to reset.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're trying to work him through it so that he actually builds confidence. He goes, oh, that wasn't too bad. Like, I know what I need to do in order to get this to go away. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing. You say heel, you're going to walk down, you're going to come back, but instead of using your hand, you're going to just cue Scottie down and start tapping to see if he gives you the position. Okay, questions? No. Go for it.
Heel.
Turn. Good.
Down.
Right.
Down.
Good, and food. I'm going to point out there real quick. When you said the down, he kind of shuffled and then you tapped him, and it was a delayed tap. So it actually made Scottie sit up, right? So you didn't do anything wrong. He just got a little confused. So what I would do there is continue very slowly with the tapping to see if he'd figure it out with this as opposed to repeating the command.
Okay.
Because then you'll end up building the habit of Scottie down, 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 Scottie down, and you're going to become more vocal, and it's going to make him less reliable on the obedience. Okay, try one more.
Heel.
Turn. Just wait a second. Now down.
Down.
Good. And food. So you see how he popped up here? Don't say anything. Just tap. Tap. Like that. So what you just did was corrected Scottie. Okay. So he got up because he's eating the treats. It's fine. But then I want to reinforce, hey buddy, you're not supposed to get up. Right? So instead of saying the command again, I just start remoting until he self-corrects. Okay? So for dogs, if you say a command, like down, and he gets up, and you say down again, you've not taught him to not get up, you simply reset. Right? Because that's technically a new command for him.
Yes.
Okay? And you want to teach Scottie, when I say this word down, you don't get up, period. And that's how we do so, is if you get up, this automatically goes off until you reposition yourself, and then it'll go away. Okay? A couple more.
Heel.
Bike's behind you.
Wait, you guys go away. I'm gonna go
Down. Down. That was a good one. And feet. Good. Up, step. Good. Wait a moment. Yep. And yep.
Heel.
Nina, no, Nina. Nina.
Go on, tap.
Maybe next time at work.
Tap. Good. Good.
Down. Down.
Tap. Good. I'm gonna do one more. Heel.
Heel.
Good bird. Up, tap forward, forward. There you go. You got it. Good. Relax. Good.
Down.
And feet. Good. Okay. So, step. Good. So now we're going to work on the sits. Okay. So sit is super easy. You've already been doing it with the pulling up. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do here is you're going to cue the word sit, and you're going to lightly pull up on your leash and tap at the same time. Okay. Correct. So you technically did it there. So we'll let this go for him. Okay. Because for him, when he feels this pressure going up, even though you didn't say sit, he felt it on the leash, he thinks I'd go up, right? Same thing with the shoulder. If you were to simply touch his shoulder, I would expect Scottie to lay down because he's thinking, when I feel this, this is what I do, okay? So what I'll have you do here is you'll go down, come back, you'll give the down, you'll wait a second, and then you're gonna cue the sit and then go into this, okay?
Heel. Down.
Wait a second. Good.
Sit.
Put up.
Sit.
That's okay. Go ahead and feed there. On the next one, what I have you do is when you come to that stop, wait a moment, then down, then wait another moment, and then to sit. Okay? Because on that one, he actually jumped up just before you said sit. Did you see that? So you're waiting that few seconds to give him the opportunity to make that mistake so that you can correct it, and that he's responding on your cue and not because he thinks it's going to happen. Okay?
Heel.
Good.
Down.
Anyways.
Sit.
Yep. Good. I'm going to feed that. That's fast. That was so fast. Let's try 2 more.
Heel.
It was like a juicy. Oh yeah. That's it. It was a luxury hotel.
It has some good things there.
You know, they transformed
The
it.
underground level, you
Yeah.
know?
They transformed it into a luxury hotel.
Down. Down. Sit.
On the next one, you're going to do everything the same like you did, but I'm going to have you just say sit without the pull.
Okay.
Okay?
Heel.
Good.
Down.
Good.
Sit.
So
Down.
right there, you see how he yeah. Good. Wait a second. Wait.
Sit.
There you go. Now feed that one. So you want to be able to recognize, like when he kind of preemptively jumps it, because a lot of people are like, well, I was going to tell the dog to sit anyways, right? Like, well, it's not about that. It's about the dog did it before any command was given. So then he starts to learn bad habits. Okay. So good job. Let's go into swap again. Very good. So I'm going to have you start off with the same thing. I'm going to do heel, walk, come back, wait a moment so he doesn't do it by himself. Cue the down. And then, well, actually, we're going to go to the hand thing first. Okay? So you're going to say heel, walk around, come back, come to a stop. Taking your right hand to grab the leash over here. Very light pressure on the shoulders with your hand and tapping to get the way down. Okay?
Heel.
Good. Good. Forward. Very light pressure. Try this. Move forward.
I normally just
Move forward. Right, there you go. And then what you're gonna do here is grab with your leash like this. Okay. Now, don't worry about your prong. Use your left hand to swivel his butt next to you. Yep, swivel, 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 just like that. Okay, and very light pressure, touching on his shoulders, very light. Tap. And food. So you see that difference? Just a smidgen too much pressure, and then you get overreaction. Yeah. Good. Heel.
Heel.
Good. 2 more. And you only need to do this if he's not responding to the word. Go ahead and dip your number down. What do you have, 40 right now?
41.
Let's go down 25. Good. Okay, wait a moment. So you see how he kind of shuffled right there? Because he's panicking. He's like, am I going to lay down? Am I not going to lay down? So then I wait, let him ride that out, and then go ahead and grab your leash. Use the hand pressure. Right there. Good. And feed. Good. One more.
Heel.
You guys good. Thank you. Oh, you can't put it down. He peed before he came over here, but there we go. Push his feet down a little bit so he doesn't keep walking and pee. Yep, when you're ready, come. Let's get back a little, Enrique, so we can move. All right, so here. Go ahead and step back on the sidewalk. And then using your leash pressure, you're gonna very lightly just bring him around. There you go. And lightly up. Good. And then have your leash short. Good. Yep. There you go. Good. And food. So if you ever see him get out of line like that, do your best. Yep. Good. Do your best to not move and reposition Scottie. Okay? So that he keeps in the situation of I don't need to overcompensate. Okay? Because whenever you reset, he forgets, and then what happens, that becomes more and more of a habit. Okay? Now you're gonna do the same thing, but now we're gonna remove the hand. Heel, come to the stop, wait, down, tap if you need to. He's like, I'm already down, Jesse. And then wait a moment, and then heel. Okay?
Heel.
The mic is coming through. You ready?
Down.
Good. Some food. Good. Remember, repeat up, tap. You're at 25? Let's go to 18. Good. And 4 more times, heel.
Heel.
And Scotty's real inconsistent. You could be at 70 and he's like whatever. And then all of a sudden it's too much, and then you're at 20 and it's fine, and all of a sudden 20 is too much. So if you get, that's why we started putting in the food. The food helped out a ton. So you guys, will, your sons will keep continuing with that. I would keep with the food and applying it to the training probably for another 2 months. Okay, to really cement it in there. And then you can start feeding him in his bowl and see what happens. At that point, it should be practiced enough that it's not going to be a big deal anymore. But definitely from when we were doing food to no food, it was a huge difference.
Down.
Good. Very good. 3 more.
Heel. Down.
Very good. Tap. Good. Wait. Good distraction. Good job. Got feet. 2 more.
Heel.
Good turn.
Down.
Very good. One more. Up, tap, correct that. Tap, tap, back up, tap, pull, back. There you go. Good. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Good job. So right there, he got confused and he goes on the placemat. Right. Most people would reset.
Right.
Down again. I just keep the dog under pressure. Have to guide him off. Pops off. Again, man. That little is nothing compared to what it used to be. It was so bad. Comes around. Then now I don't care about exact positioning. I just care that he figures out what he's supposed to do. I just kept that tapping, or you kept it, and then he sat down, and then boom. Then I take it off. Right, so right there he goes, oh, all that was to go back to what I was doing originally, right? So why that's so important is, you know, if you do enough, if your sons follow through and do the homework and practice, he's up to off-leash viable. Okay, they just need to learn the tools. And here, so if let's say fast forward 6 months, they've been doing the homework and everything, and Scotty's laying down, and maybe they're playing football or something in the yard, he starts to get up, they press the button, he just goes back and lays down. If he gets confused, they just keep tapping it. And I've seen dogs, it won't be perfect, but they'll go back to the general area and fix themselves. Because I don't repeat it. I make them figure it out using just the remote, because at the end of the day, I always stress, like, that's all you're gonna have. Aside from words, all you're gonna have is the remote to get the dog to do the behavior. So here, people feel bad, like, but the dog doesn't know what to do. I'm like, well, there's only one way to figure it out, and it's to make them figure it out. Okay, so that was a really good example of that. So if you ever see that at home, you can tell when you need to help him because he will look panicked. He will look confused. He will do a lot of jumping around. He'll go this way, that way, this way, that way. Here, he just resisted because he thought that's where he was supposed to go. You guided him off, and right away he went next to you, put his butt down, and then here I go. Right? So there was no confusion there. He just had to think through it. Okay? Let's try one more.
Heel.
Not you, Callie. Job.
Down.
Good. Tap. Tap. Good. Lead. Good. So now you're going to move into what Matthew was doing with the sits and downs. Okay? So then when you're ready, you're going to cue the word sit with the very light pressure and the tap to get them to pop up.
Sit.
So right there, you see how you beat you to the punch? Did you say it just a second before, right? So go to say down again.
Down.
Good. Right. And when you see that happen, it's real hard because he's popping up just when you're about to say it, is you want to catch yourself and stop yourself so that you can correct them back into the down position. Wait, and then cue the sit command so that it's on your terms. Okay? Sit.
Sit.
Good. And feet. Okay, let's try that 4 more times. Heel to down to sit.
Heel.
Good. Go up like there you go. Good. Wait a moment. Good.
Down.
Did you say down?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Sit.
Good. And feet. Good. 3 more.
Heel.
Good. Good. Yep, wait a moment.
Down.
Good.
Sit.
Good. Feet. Good. 2 more.
Heel.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it here, but that thing for good.
Down. Sit.
Good. Wait, capture. Good. Then feet. Good. One more.
Heel.
You know when your collar comes in?
No, because somebody has it.
Oh, okay. So if no one.
Good.
Down. Sit.
Good. Good. So what do we do here? Have a seat here. And down, Scotty, at your feet, okay?
Down. Down.
And then let your leash go slack, and then with your left foot, you're gonna step on it. Like that. Okay? So, we have 5 of 6 commands. The last one is the recall. The called stuff. Okay? You have one more class in person after this. We'll do recall for that. Okay? So, for this week to apply, is just control, control, control. Think of the down as like, how do you say, when you don't have access to a place, it's more strict, right? So there is no exception to that position. That's like if she was in the down, that's like I don't care if they did that. I don't care about aesthetics. I don't care about how it looks. I care about is it functional. So if you told Callie to lay down and she'll stay like that for 3 hours, like you need her to, that's what I care about. I don't need a very nice, pretty looking down because that's not comfortable. Okay. So for Scottie, now it's thinking, how do we apply what he's learned to our life or his life with us, so that we carry everything that Jesse taught him to the home, right? So I think of it as, if I don't have that much attention to pay to him, I go to something like this. Like right now, you're watching me, you're watching your sons and all that stuff, right? Then we had Crazy Lady. So we use place, right? Because I don't have to worry about being so strict, right? But let's say I'm gonna just sit down and I'm only gonna watch like Netflix or something, right? Well, I'm only gonna be there watching TV. I'm not gonna be that distracted, then I can do it down. And at this stage, we use the foot on the leash to communicate. If you start to feel the leash tugging, what does that tell you? He's moving, right? So by stepping on it closer to where the collar is, you're limiting his range of motion. So if he did get up, he's not going to get far. Most people try to do this and then do no leash, and then the dog gets up and then they're chasing their dog. But now the dog has the ability to run away. We're trying to teach him in the beginning there is no running away. So we eliminate it as an option, and eventually he gets conditioned. The dog's like, all right, there's no point in him getting up because I can't get up anyways. Okay. Then we go to no leash. So at this phase, and probably for the next few weeks, in the home, you'll have the leash on whenever you're going to need to have control. Okay, and you can have it dragging. If you want to get like a cheaper one that you don't care about, so that he doesn't chew on it or whatever, that's a nice leash. You can do so. So like if I'm gonna watch TV, if I'm gonna work from my computer, if I'm just gonna have like a quick bite to eat, lunch, dinner, something like that, I can use a command like down because I know I'm not gonna be that distracted, right? I'm just gonna be doing one thing. If you're having a bunch of family come over and you're gonna be talking to people and then watching TV and then eating food, then I go to something like this. This is easier, less attention I need to pay to him. All I need to do is make sure that he doesn't step off. Okay, so just kind of figuring out how does that apply to you. The sit. For me, the sit command and the stay command are probably like the least useful in terms of things that we teach the dogs because they're momentary. So think of it as like before you walk out the door, having him put his butt down, going to open it, stepping out, coming out, having him sit again, locking the door, okay, heel. And then after that, sit is automatic, right? I teach sit as a default behavior. Whenever you get food, you just put your butt down. Whenever I'm going to give you a bone or a treat or an antler or a chew stick or anything like that, you put your butt down. If you want me to put the leash on, you put your butt down. So I teach it kind of as a default please type of behavior. Like, oh, the leash is coming up. I put my butt down because I want to go for a walk, and I go for a walk faster if I put my butt down. So instead of having to say sit 1,000 times a day, I just teach dogs to automatically do it whenever certain things happen. So then I remove having to say sit 1,000 times a day, right? The stay command, because it's implied, like I don't say play stay, I don't say sit stay or down stay. Again, the only time we say it is when the dog's already in position. So the least useful, but trying to find ways again that you could apply that to your life. I think with Callie, what we did was if she poops, you have her sit, right? And then you go pick it up, you come back, heel, and you throw away the poop and maybe at a stoplight. But other than that, it's like rarely used because it's implied in everything else. Okay. Questions so far about this stuff? When you do your training sessions, because you're learning now that I'm essentially catching up to what Scottie has learned, right? And he's learned quite a bit. He's come quite a long way. Is don't feel bad for Scottie if you feel like if it's too controlling. Okay, because that's something that's very common. People are like, oh, there's a puppy, he's 6 months, 7 months, he's supposed to be like being a puppy. I'm like, well, yeah, there's gonna be a jerk again, and you don't want that. Okay, so dogs thrive in very strict structure. Okay, and like I said, be super black and white, be super strict in the beginning. Expect not a lot of freedom for him in the beginning to help him associate. Oh, home is like Jesse's. Okay, and when it comes to affection. When it comes to playtime, if he likes to play ball and all that stuff, I'm all for it. But he has to now earn it. Right? So like me growing up, video games. My mom only gave me 1 hour of video games a day when I did all my homework, did all my chores, and made dinner. Then I got 1 hour at the end of the day. So it made that 1 hour feel really good because I earned it. I worked for it. Right? Same thing for Scottie. You're just making him work for the stuff that you typically just give to him because he's Scottie. But when you do that, you create problems. Okay, just like you would if it was a kid. So, what I would do is like, let's say you do like you can blend your training with play as well. So does he have any does he have any toys he likes to play with you guys? Ball, anything like that? Yep. So, how do you think? Let's say, does he like to play ball? Tug, anything like that?
Really just likes chewing on his toys.
Chewing on his toys? Does he do anything with you guys, like where he engages with you? Okay. What about like rough housing and like patting him and all? Like, you ever like that kind of stuff? Okay. Just got a little distraction coming. Good job, Scottie. So, let's say just play. Like rough housing. Like I rough house with my dog. I don't have a problem with it. If you don't like it, don't do it. But how do you think you could blend play instead of food, play with Scottie's training? Yeah. How about you, Rick? You got any ideas?
Basically, whenever he does something good, like he follows it back.
Right, you would release him first, right? So like let's say, like right there, Scottie laid down, he's been laying down, he hasn't gotten up. Dog walks by, he looked at the dog, which I'm not opposed to him looking at the dog. Dog passed and he went right back to laying down. That's really good, right? So like, let's say that happened, you issue break first, Now you're free, Scotty, and then play would ensue. So then he's like, oh, cool. If I stay stationary for a bit, I may potentially be released and we might play. Okay. So if you try to blend it with like with Scotty's repertoire of feel, sit, down, and stay in place, right? Those 5 commands. It could be, let's say I send him to place. We'll pretend Scotty likes the ball. I'm bouncing the ball. He tries to go for it. He breaks off a place. I correct it. He goes back on. I'm bouncing it. He does really good. Break, and then once he hops off, boom, I throw it. Right? So you're able to incorporate play and engagement along with the discipline of the training itself. Or you can do food. Food is obviously easy because like he does it, you feed him, you're good, right? But if you, we're going to do that for a bit. But if you want to keep up this training, the whole saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, does apply. You will never forget it, but it's not going to be as good as it is like when he's fresh out the facility, right? So that's one thing that I tell people to do is either if you're not using it regularly, every day, then a short training session. If you reach the 15 minutes a day with Scotty, of just going over stuff, you'll be fine, right? And then it's just the use of it. Oh, I'm gonna have friends come over, and I don't want Scotty like messing with my friends. Here, go lay down right there and don't move for the next 3 hours of my friend's over. That is the most effective form of dog training, is the applied aspect of it. This here is just kind of rehearsing, making sure he's very clear on what all the commands mean, but not very realistic. Like you're not going to drill through 20 things in the span of 5 minutes in real life. Like you're going to be saying heel, and you're going to walk for 20 minutes in one direction, and then come to a stop, and he's expected to sit. Like that's real life, right? So, questions about any of this stuff? Nope. So, I think it's easiest, and what we've been doing is serve, he gets 3 cups a day, correct? Isn't
2.
Oh, he gets 2? Oh, well, we're up to 3. He's doing a lot of activity. Okay. So, you can drop him down to 2. Hey, if you're doing more activity with him, and you start to see him lose a little bit of weight, you can bump it. Okay? Because he does daycare, he was doing play at daycare, he was doing training, he was doing the pack walks, he was doing his training walk. All the activities burning a lot more calories. So then obviously that might dial down at home. So you can just adjust his food accordingly. So if you drop him down to 2 cups, just pour all 2 cups in the bowl, and he's not going to eat it from the bowl. He's going to eat it during training. Okay? So then if you do the morning session with him or whatever, maybe he gets 1 cup in the morning, and then if you do the evening, you get 1 cup in the evening, and okay, his bowl's empty, Scotty got all of his food for today. Otherwise, it's kind of like, oh, well, did Matthew work with him in the morning or not, right? And maybe he's gone, you can't get in contact with him, you don't know what he's eating. So if he didn't work with him, you come home to a full bowl, it's 2 cups. Like, okay, well, he has 2 cups that he needs to eat for the day. Make sense?
Body schedule.
Oh, yeah. So water, controlling the water was a big deal for this guy. Ounce per pound. So how much does he weigh? 20? 28? So we'll say 30. You're fine. So let's say he's 30 pounds, 8 ounces every water break, and I do 4. We did 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. So every 4 hours, if you can. Okay. Definitely don't want to give him water after 7. I did this myself twice, and both nights he peed. Okay. Every night we capped him at 7. No accidents. No problem. Okay. So, if you go on maybe a longer walk one day or something like that, and you feel like he needs a little more, it's perfectly fine. But now you are aware he got a little bit more water. He's probably going to have a potty break pretty soon. Okay. Other than that, he's actually really good with potty. Potties outside, morning and evening. Like clockwork, morning and evening when he poops. He's real good at 2. No issues there. It was really just controlling his water.
If we get him back home, he starts, because when we had him, it was like when he was in the basement, that was his cue to go poop. Like he would poop in the basement.
Sure. What's in the basement? Is it like
the kids' bedrooms.
Okay. So you'd come down and oh crap, Scotty pooped. Is that what it was? Or would he poop while you guys were down there? Overnight? Okay, what about during the day?
Sometimes we just come downstairs during the day when no one's down there either. We'll find out.
Is there a...
hiding to go poop?
Yeah,
Sure.
He wasn't like that like a few days before we gave it to you guys. He got better.
Okay. Is there a door to going down to the basement?
Yes.
So I would keep that closed. If no one's... So if Scottie's under a lot of control, like in place or in down, like he's not going to have the opportunity, right? But in the circumstance where you're like, hey, he's been pretty good and still a little bit of freedom, make sure those doors are closed, okay?
Okay, that makes sense.
Because dogs don't want to pee or poop where the immediate family resides. So like even though he goes down there with you guys at night, there's no one there at that time. So he's like, oh, this is quiet down here. Let me go down here, okay? So by closing the door, you remove that option. Overnight, I don't think we've had any poop mistakes with him overnight. Maybe once in the very, very beginning when we first brought him. But if anything, kennel. So his life at our facility was kennel overnight, 10 to 7, 6:37. Get up, go potty, pee poop right away, come back inside, we put him on place, and then get everybody situated. And then you have his morning training session, some time in daycare, potty break, back in daycare, back on the training floor, right? So it was a lot of either he's doing something, he's under, Cap. That's fine. Yeah, that's good. He was either doing something that, and when we take him on the daycare floor, we take him out to potty prior. So like let's say he was on place for 3 hours, and then you're gonna release him because you're gonna maybe go to the basement or something. I'd most likely run him out for a potty break because he went from doing nothing to about to do something. Okay, so then just adding that break in between, he gets himself out, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Anytime you can't keep an eye on him, and I would suggest overnight as well, just for a few weeks until we see how he does. He's kenneled. Anytime you're gone, nobody's home, kenneled. Once your bark collar comes in, you fit it with the bark collar, and hopefully that keeps everything in check. Okay. Other questions? There she goes. Got a girl. Good girl. Good. Trying to think here. I think the main thing that you might struggle with is the leash pulling. As soon as you get back to your neighborhood, you'll be a little more excited to be back home and everything, right? As soon as it's caught, I'll borrow you this prong collar. Okay. So at least you have something in the meantime. And then next time I see you, just bring it. If you experience any difficulty with his obedience in the home, it's just great playing with that number. Okay, because he's gone from like did what I want, whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want in the home. So that's going to still be the association. Now it's reteaching him like nobody like very cool again. Okay. Anything else?
Got the schedule. Yeah, it's like overnight, during the day, he's
Yeah. If you're not playing with them, if you're not training with them, or if you don't have them under command, my suggestion is, and if you're not going to pay attention to them, kennel. Okay. Anything else? Good. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate your how do you say, you using this again. What's up? Patronage? Is that what that's called? No, I think you're correct. Yeah, that's why I'm a dog trainer. Awesome. So we'll go to take the e-collar. If you have any questions, you guys feel free to reach out to us. Enrique was a big part of the training process with
we were talking to him before you got here.
Yeah, him and Brianna did a lot of work with him and my brother Corey. So if I think everybody's on Instagram now, right? 'Cause Sophie's on it. I saw
I
Cal's on
made
it.
one for just to that.
And I think you are Matthew, right? So if you ever have any questions, you can also just email or message on Instagram and say like, hey, I got a question about Scottie, and then somebody will get back to you. Because everybody has access to it. He has access, Brianna has access, I have access. Okay, so it's probably the easiest way outside of email. Otherwise, email, it's solely me, and it's when I get home. Okay? But these guys can definitely help you as well because they've done a ton of work with Scottie.
Okay.
Okay?
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Good luck.